I'm Brian here at Gays with Kids. We're here today with two of Toronto's finest, Officer Danielle Bottineau and Officer Luke Watson. I'm sure many of you will recognize Luke, who's first came to fame with his hot pink locks on International Day of Pink. But before we get to you, Luke, I'd love to ask you, Danielle, first of all, could you tell us what you do for the Toronto Police Department and sort of how you guys got involved in fighting homophobia?
Yeah, so I've been the LGBTQ liaison officer for the past 4 years with the service. 3 years ago, our internal support network, which is kind of like our version of a Gay Straight Alliance for out officers and civilians that work within our service, we put together a video, and it's called Together We Can Make It Better, Stop Bullying Now. And it speaks to homophobic and transphobic bullying. And there's officers and civilians on there that speak to their own story of being bullied, for being gay or for being trans. And it also speaks to the bullies in this video, as well as some prevention techniques for the greater good.
Excellent, excellent. And so, Luke, do you want to tell us how you got involved in International Day of Pink and how you, I presume you were not born with hot pink hair?
No, it was hot pink, but now it's, I don't know, cotton candy pink right now, because it's kind of, I need to touch it up. But the initiative is almost over. So essentially how it happened was a colleague and I, we would just go back and forth on some safety tips on social media via Twitter. And the day before the International Day of Pink, April 8th, I tweeted out a picture of a pink police car to my colleague Ryan Wilmer. So what he did in response was he took my Twitter profile picture and tweeted it out there and asked for 200 retweets. And if I were to get 200 retweets, I would dye my hair pink for the International Day of Pink. So essentially what happened was, I didn't know any of this was happening. So I'm driving into work the next day on the International Day of Pink, April 8th. And he told me that a local television crew was at the station waiting for me to watch me get my hair dyed pink for the day. So I don't know what the numbers were. I think it was in the 500s retweets that we got. And that's how I ended up with pink hair. And it just took off from there. Wow.
And so we're several weeks away from International Day of Pink. Why is it still pink today?
That's the second part of the story. When we were there, when we walked into the gymnasium, the overwhelming response was positive, and everyone gravitated towards us and wanted to know, what the pink hair was all about. And when Danielle, Ryan, and myself explained it, the response that we got was so great that Ryan said, why don't we reach out to Twitter again to see, if people are passionate about this like this school is. So he asked for 1,000 retweets, and if I were to get 1,000 retweets, I'd keep my hair pink for 7 days. On top of the 1,000 retweets, he said if we get an additional 100 on top of the 1,000 retweets, I'd keep it for an extra day. So the numbers, the last time we checked, was around the 15,000 mark, but we capped it that night because it was going so viral that we capped it that day at midnight. So I had to keep my hair pink. I think it was for 32 days.
So I shouldn't ask people to retweet right now.
No, I have to go back to my normal hair color. I forget what it is.
I think it's important to say, though, our service has embraced this fully, with their arms wide open from the chief on down. And the reason we do it is to speak to those LGBTQ youth. I mean, I came out over 20 years ago. I was fortunate enough to come from a family that it wasn't in our genetics to kick me out of the house or disown me, but I'm one of those kids that was fortunate enough. There's a lot of kids out there. I mean, I'm sure you know the stats, that are extremely high. 1 in 4 attempt suicide based on the bullying that they endure, whether it be at home or in the schools. And that's why we do it, so that they can have a voice. And at the end of the day, we all need to have a voice in order for change to happen.
I do have a question. We have a lot of dads who've got kids of all different ages watching this, and perhaps some young kids as well, and other kids rather. Any safety tips, anything you want to talk to them about, anything you want to say to them?
Well, I think for me personally, since the social media is such a big piece and the work that I do, and the LGBTQ youth turn to social media for resources for whatever it may be. But I think everybody needs to have a hand in on that as well. And for dads or parents, whoever it may be, if they have children, you have to have that ongoing conversation with them as to what's taking place on that computer. And kids need to know that cyberbullying is not accepted, nor is it face-to-face. And it's no different behind a computer screen than it is when you're in front of somebody else. I just think kids are trying to be more bolder these days and think they can get away with it hiding behind a computer screen or even a phone for that matter. They think they're safe, but they're not.
Being a bully or being bullied is not acceptable. I want Danielle and Ryan and I want to get it out there that we want people to be leaders, not bystanders. If you see someone that's upset, take the time to stop and talk to that person and see if you can assist them before it gets to the point where, you know, they're thinking of harming themselves or they think that there's no other options for them. It's so important to take the time to look around you to see if those people that are struggling, that they know that they have a hand, and that people out there in their community, besides the Toronto Police and besides, you know, Gays with Kids, that there's people out there that are supports to them.
All right, thank you very much. It's really great. I appreciate you guys taking your time from your busy schedules to talk to us. And dads out there, remember, you can help support other gay dads by subscribing to our channel.